Here's three things to avoid your first time getting high because it can be a very memorable experience, but if you don't approach it the correct way, it's going to be memorable for all the wrong reasons because you're never going to want to do it again. But the first thing to avoid is the dangle, wacky tobacco. Look, some people, the first time they ever got high, they mixed it with tobacco, a little bit in the bowl, they smoked a blunt or whatever. But now they're hooked. Now every time they get high, it has to be with tobacco or it doesn't hit right unless they have tobacco. And they don't realize they don't want to sesh. They need the sesh now because they're addicted to a portion of the sesh. So avoid the dangle, wacky tobacco. The second thing on the list to avoid is fatty rippers. There's some setups that are just going to deliver a hit too fat for your first time and you want to avoid things like a ball vape, which I talk about all the time. You don't want to do that on your first rip. Something like a quartz banger, bro, a big old glob on there, or a slurp or something like that. Almost any kind of concentrate you might want to avoid on the first time. Look, go classic, hit a little puff off a joint. You can't take a fatty ripper off a joint. It's too harsh. And look, joints aren't that potent. They don't get you that high. The third thing on the list to avoid, I would say, time machines. The amount of times I've heard people tell me that they went through a time machine, they had too many milligrams of some edibles and they just woke up 10 hours later. They don't remember the experience at all. They ate some stuff and then they passed out. Look, most people, your first time, if you do edibles, be super careful because they just hit harder. It's a much more intense experience. So if you don't have any kind of experience, an edible might not be the best. But some people, they're only going to ever do edibles. So do yourself a solid 5 or 10 milligrams. Maybe bite the corner off. Don't count on your first time being the best time ever. Count on your first time with Eddie's being like a gauge of like, all right, can I do more or should I do less? Because there's some people, bro, one time on edibles and you never want to do anything 420 related again. So look, if you got tips, drop them in the comments. Let me know where we at and come get lit with me on my live streams.